can't give us physical riches right now, man, because the whole head is sick, man. And the Lord never wanted just a few righteous men in Yashala. He needed the whole nation, man. Because he promised our forefather Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that the whole seed, man, not just a couple of them, man. That's why there were righteous men in Yashala all the time, every captivity, man. And they all had to go in captivity with their brethren, man. Because the whole head is sick, man. And the Lord has to reestablish the spirit of our people, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, with this culture before he can give them anything else, man. Because it starts with the mind. Your brothers brought out a beautiful point. You can't give Jake riches because he would give it right back to the so-called white man. He'll go to the Gucci store, he'll go to the Fendi store, he'll go buy expensive cars that his people don't make, and they'll be broke in 6 months. Amen. Amen.
Or the white man that just take it like he did in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right.
Yeah.
Or he'll Black Wall Street you, man.
If all fails.
If all else fails, if all else fails, he'll hit you with a drone strike, man. If all else fails, man, because that's his MO, man. If he can't get you with his philosophies, he definitely gonna get you with that sword, man. That's Esau's strength, man. His sword. That's why he don't want any other nation to have any kind of weapons that are equal to his or greater, man.
Right.
Because that's his blessing. That's how Esau conquers things, man. Through the sword, man. That's why he over there in the Middle East snatching resources, man. Telling these peons over here that it's about democracy. And he really over there stealing, man. He called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans gangsters. They gangsters in their neighborhood. You gangsters all over the world, man. You running all over the world, taking shit, man.
Real nigga.
And lying. You're a thief and a robber, man. That's why the Lord called Cain a fugitive and a vagabond, man.
This is John chapter 10 and verse 10. The thief cometh not but to steal, to kill, and to destroy.
Yeah, and that's why people not supposed to trust in the spirit of Egypt, man. Because you trusting in the devil, man. Devil meaning deceiver, man. For you to protest to the so-called white man about justice after his long rap sheet of destroying your ass, that's a foolish concept, man. That's a foolish concept. That's like asking a snake not to bite you, man. Exactly, that's the spirit.
Deuteronomy chapter 33 verse 28. Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The foundation of Jacob shall be upon the land of corn and wine. Also his heavens shall drop down dew.
And that's beautiful because the Lord said that we're going to dwell alone, man. All of these other nations feed off the energy of our people, man. That's why people are tired and drained, man. Everything our people come up with, they get snatched from them, man. You got it.
Happy art thou, O Yasharallah, who is like unto thee, O people, saved by Yahawah, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places.
And that's how it's starting right now, spiritually, man. We're treading on their high places, man. Caesar Borgia, that's a high place, man. Especially for our people, man. And we're proving the so-called white man to be a liar, man. He called you Native Americans savages, man. Indian meaning savage, man. He said that he gave you Negroes culture, man. That you were swinging from trees over there in Africa, man.
Right.
Well, how do you know how to do all of this farming and cultivation and slavery if you was a damn savage in Africa, man? Our people have traded something valuable, the most valuable thing that you can have, which is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man, of the Lord, man. And they've traded it for the lives of their oppressors, man. That's why the Lord is raising up men that's not going to forget what happened to their nation. Just like those so-called Jews don't forget the Holocaust. They'll find a crinkly old Edomite, a crinkly old so-called white man who was a Nazi, 112 years old, and they'll put his ass in prison. Because they don't forget about the things that happened to them. But they'll tell you not to forget about what happened to you, man. They tell you to forget about the genocide and the slavery while you walk around and they talk about it privately and laugh at you, man.
Sirach 11 and 25. In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. And in the day of afflictions, there is no remembrance of prosperity.
Yeah, and that's, our people have no remembrance of the prosperity they once had, man. Because they're in the day of affliction.
This is Sirach, chapter 12, starting at verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take heed and beware of him.
And that's why the Negroes that tells the Native Americans are dumbed down, because Esau comes at them humble, man. When you think about Esau in your everyday walk, Esau comes at you humble, man. Crouching, man.
Take heed of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away.
And our people are about to find out that the so-called white man ain't stopped being wicked, man. He ain't stopped having hate for you, man. They're about to find that out in the worst way, man. But that's because they trust in the spirit of Egypt. Right? You trust in Esau, so when Esau turn on you, who pities a charmer that's bitten by a serpent, man? So-called white man been wicked, man. Ain't nothing changing. He just got clothes on now. He just got a suit and a smile now. That's the only difference. He got media now. He's the same today, yesterday, and tomorrow.
On the left-hand side.
On the left-hand side, right.
Verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place, neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat.
And that happened on multiple occasions, man. That happened on multiple occasions. The Herodian dynasty, the Dark Ages. That happened on multiple occasions when they brought Esau next to them and cultivated him. Yeah. It said that he taught the wicked ones his ways. Every time our nation got the so-called white man next to him, he overthrew us, man. In our prosperity, man. So that's why the Lord is going to remove him, man. He's going to be removed out of the way, man.
Who's going to be removed?
So-called white man. Who is Esau, according to scripture.
I don't want to be the so-called. I don't want to be the so-called white man. I just want to be the.
You're not white.
You're not white.
Okay. Different shades of red.
Okay.
So I did good?
Is that
Yeah, your nose is red right now.
Man, your cheeks.
Oh yeah. No. We're not. It's not high five. I'll be a bit.
Lest he seek to take away thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast?
Exactly. So who's going to pity a Negro, Latino, or Native American trusting in a nation that destroyed them?
Am I bitten by the serpent?
It's a metaphor. It says who would trust your enemy.
This is my goal.
What's your goal?
My goal.
You look Irish, man.
Yeah.
The freckles give it away, though.
Irish.
My goal is to match.
All right. So let me tell you. All right. Let me tell you something.
No.
So
That's the other thing.
So we say this. We say so-called white man, and we say
Not
Esau.
mesh as in understand. Mesh as in understand.
Okay, I got you.
Mesh as in
I got you.
mentally be cohesive. Understand what the goal is for everyone. Understand that the goal can be the same.
Not always. Not always.
The goal is much more difficult for you to attain than it is for me. I am born with an ease to the goal of happiness, right? And it's more difficult for you to attain, and that's something that I understand.
Well, what you do have to understand, not to cut you off, but what you do have to understand is somebody else's happiness is somebody else's unhappiness. So for America to flourish like this, somebody somewhere else has to suffer.
don't think that's really his goal.
I think that we can make that. I think that we can make that obsolete. I think that if the right folks are voted into office, we can make it to where everybody. And hey, don't take this.
I don't think so.
I know I'm dressed up. I don't come from lots of money.
If you Irish, we know. We know.
Well, that's another thing. I want the whole concept of Irish slavery. That's horseshit.
It's the spirit. We speaking on spiritual, not necessarily historical.
Okay.
Being in the region doesn't necessarily make you a nation of Israel. Just like being American doesn't make you an American. It's about the seed of man.
Right. We're all one people.
We're not all one people.
I think you should be.
Wow.
Why? That's a good question.
Why?
Wow.
We're all
Because if you do look historical, people who separate based on strictly non-ideological lines do not succeed. People who come together.
If you look at it, I was going to say that. If you look at it at a scientific,
separated the sons of Adam.
you look at
You
it
think we should all be separated?
Yeah.
If you look at it scientifically,
I feel like we could all coexist.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that separation? Why do you think there's something wrong with separation?
I don't think there's something wrong with it. I think it's not beneficial to all parties involved. I think that if you look strictly historically and economically, when all parties involved throw ridiculous cultural assumptions aside, I think that if you look at history, when all parties involved throw cultural assumptions aside and decide to work together, they usually don't have issues.
So can we say this? Because you don't have to be the same, but we can have a mutual agreement. I can have my nation, you can be your nation, but we can trade. That's not us coming all together being one. Well, we're still different entities.
Yeah,
but we can be at peace with each other, right?
peace. If peace is present, what else is the goal?
Okay,
the way that our world is today.
But you said for us to be one people. But I don't think it would be beneficial for us to be one people because, wait, let me say this. I don't think it would be beneficial for us to be one people because that means that we lose our culture or you lose your culture. And we all, as different groups of people, races or nationalities, have our own cultures and things that we hold as valuable. So for us to assimilate together, which would mean that one of us has to lose our culture or lose something.
Cultures have been assimilating for thousands of years.
Yeah, that's true.
Cultures are still alive. Jewish culture is alive and thriving. Christian culture is alive and thriving. Muslim culture is alive and thriving. Culture and they weren't separate. No.
You have to lose something.
No, but they didn't. They didn't lose anything until the bombs started dropping. And that's a modern day issue. Cultures have aligned together for thousands of years. So to think that you have to separate, that's negligent.
It's not negligent.
There's no reason that you cannot coexist.
This is Soweth chapter 33. Did you want something else? Soweth chapter 33, verse 10. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of the earth. In much knowledge the Lord hath divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them have he blessed and exalted, and some of them hath he sanctified and set near himself, but some of them hath he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liketh him best.
Don't say nothing about Israel being a
My question, fellas, can I ask? My question is, what can I do?
What can you do?
What can I do?
That's a good question.
Is what you're saying? What can I do? Is the answer to that wall yourself off and be separate? Because I don't think that's true. I have a lot of people that are of a lot of different cultural backgrounds that I'm close with. So
but this is the thing.
So what? Answer me. What can I do? Now I'm not a spiritual man. I'm not a religious man. I'm very independent and free thinking. So I'm probably different than most of the people that you come across that look like me.
I get two answers.
What can I do?
The first answer is,
what can I do?
If you're Israelite, because I don't know what your nationality is.
I grew up in.
Well, I don't know where your lineage goes back to.
My lineage goes back to something that doesn't really affect me. I don't hold like Irish pride. I'm not like I'm just here. I grew up in fucking Oviedo. That's 20 minutes away from here. I grew up with everybody that's here. I'm an Orlando kid. So
I'm asking you.
I don't have any nationality ties. Like I'm Irish, you can tell. See these freckles? I'm Irish. Sorry.
If you belong to these people on the sign, we don't know because we've been mixed up with everybody. If you belong to these people on the sign, you can start following the laws, keeping the statutes, and going back to your culture.
I'm going to.
If you're not of these people, you're of another nation.
All right, well,
what you could do is let the children of Israel do what they got to do, build themselves, and let them separate themselves.
I'm very supportive of any religion.
Hold on, let me finish.
I'm sorry, my bad.
You let the children of Israel build themselves up, separate themselves so that they can get themselves together, and then they could deal with all the other nations. That's what you could do. Okay. Let the children of Israel separate themselves. But we have to have some sort of separation so that we could deal with our own nation and build ourselves up so that we could deal with other nations.
Cool. Like a school, you don't when a school is in the being built, you don't start by getting the students. You got to build a foundation. You got to lay the bricks. You got to get the lights. You got the electricity. And then the students can come. And the nations outside of this nation here, those are the students. They come last. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen.
And then, you know what I mean?
I want you guys to know that there are a lot of non-religious, independent people that wish that things were better between the people that live in the United States.
But this is the brother trying to get you. This is not a religion. The Bible is not a religious book. It's a book about a race of people. Okay. Called an Israelite. To be an Israelite means you descend from the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You're not an Israelite because you picked up this book and you said, I follow the Lord. It's a race.
I'm Christian.
You can't get it now?
From Abraham people, from ancient people.
That's what I was telling to get to the bottom.
There are millions of people that are living out of that Israelite category. Okay, so
kind of sauce.
There are many people like that. Many people like me who have no concept of what we don't like.
Just because you don't have the concept doesn't mean you don't descend.
I may descend. My point is, there are many people that are not spiritual.
You just rejected my father don't understand it, or you rejected? Well, I'm just trying to get where you're coming from.
You're kind of rambling.
I've gotten halfway through.
Can we go to Saddle Up?
My point is, there's lots of people that think like you that would like to be better. And if you reached out, more people would reach out back.
Right. But we're only reaching out for a select few.
No, and that's the thing. It seems like that the deal here is separate.
So out of 12,000,
But it's not wrong with being separate, man.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying that's what the deal seems to be.
I mean, the Chinese are separate from America, right?
That's the most popular language in the world.
But look,
how many people who aren't Chinese that speak that?
Yeah, but you trade. You trade with each other. You come together on that. You don't have to be together as one nation.
Right. Mandarin Chinese is the most spoken language in the world. More people envelop themselves in that culture than anyone.
Communism back in the 40s was looked at as this monstrosity.
I appreciate the discussion.
To American media and propaganda. But here it is. America does everything is fucking made in China. But China's a communist country, so that's beautiful that you said.
I appreciate
it. Shows the hypocrisy.
I appreciate discussion.
I don't believe all
I mean,
of it.
this conversation is
I don't believe all of
coming
it,
from
though.
people who dropped the atomic bomb on
Evolution
Hiroshima and
happens.
Nagasaki.
Science.
But then they're sitting there telling everybody else, you can't have weapons of mass destruction because you're going to use them. But wait a minute, you're the only motherfuckers that use them.
Hey, Austin.
That's a fact.
You're the only ones that actually use them. So Ammonites are suffering to this day and that's atomic. That wasn't even on the nuclear.
And I just have a quick question. What are y'all trying to accomplish with this, and where is my role specifically? Just because of the color of I mean,
Our role.
Well. I mean.
I know what you're trying to say.
Like he said, because he said he kind of generalized that guy as the guy that dropped the bombs on.
Not that guy.
Well, regardless,
He's talking about America.
I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
He was talking about America.
Okay.
So our message is to gather this nation of people.
Okay.
Because this is what they're being called, separate themselves, and they're actually one big family.
Okay.
Through all of the captivities and all the atrocities that's been done in this nation, they've been separated from their natural culture. These scriptures that everybody holds are actually about a nation of people that descend from a man. Israel is not just a land mass, it's a man's name. These are his sons, and all of the people that come out of his sons are of the nation of Israel.
So Abraham, Judah, Benjamin,
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Okay.
And Jacob's name got changed to this, Israel.
Okay.
And their descendants are what these scriptures are about. The laws in these scriptures are for them to conduct themselves, but they don't know that. They think that they're this. So, on one hand, our job is to come out here and tell our people who they really are, whether they hear it or not.
Right.
On the other end, our job is to also tell prophecy, what's about to happen. And what's about to happen is World War III, according to the scriptures. What's about to happen is that America, which is Babylon the Great, is going to be destroyed with thermonuclear destruction. And it's whether you believe it or not, but we're just going to tell you exactly where we're coming from. Mark of the beast is the microchip. Anybody who takes that is going to be destroyed, even if they're of this nation. 2/3 of this nation is going to be destroyed. So, for you, if you do go back to the nation of Esau or Edom, which is we say so-called white men, but our nation is your nationality is determined by the seed of the man.
This is Romans chapter 3, verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of Yahawah with the faith of God without effect? Verse 4, God forbid. Yeah, let God be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest justify in thy sayings, and thou mightest overcome, thou art judged.
Get 1 Corinthians 1:25, because what we're supposed to do is speak on prophecy as well. So we're to tell our nation who they are, and then we're to prophesy about the world, about the market, about what's coming to the world, whether they believe it or not. That's why I brought this step out, because it's not important to people being able to tell. It wouldn't be prophecy to tell. Anybody can see empirical evidence and say, oh shit, duh. You know, we're out here to say something before it happens. According to the word of the Lord, this is how the one that they call God justifies himself. He sits above time and he can tell you what's going to happen. We're given the message, and the Lord has based us to look like that crazy in the world that's full of crazy. So what we're here to tell you is that if you do go back to the nation of your destination or your fate is actually slavery, along with the other nations as well.
Well, I mean, we're all slaves in this American.
We're all slaves in this world, but that's because the elites of your people are ruling, and they put even the common people of your nation in slavery as well. So they have this classism thing, but this is a recent thing. Before, when we were in captivity, the common, just being a so-called white man, has certain privileges.
Absolutely.
Now it does to a certain degree here, but not as much as it did.
To a certain extent, maybe I have more privileges in certain aspects, but really I don't have very much privilege at all.
Well, that's because now we're entering into the world of classism, And the curses that were given to Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are starting to transition to all the other nations. Because we're not the only nation to put our people in captivity. You know, history, there's been a lot of captivity. Where in the scriptures, it talks about those captivities.
Well, I mean, a lot of it has to do with your mother and father. You know, about your status in life and your privileges.
That's a facade. That's what they say on the screen to sound nice. In actuality, there's a system that's created that keeps certain people out of the way, and certain people get a expressway, so to speak.
For instance,
At
at a certain point in time, the interest rate on mortgages for Negroes were like, well, I don't know the exact percentage, but if a Negro wanted to buy a home or get a mortgage, his interest rate was way higher than a Caucasian person.
Hey, I'm not down that one at all.
But I'm saying that to explain that there's actually a system that was put in place to keep us in the ghettos, to keep us in the situations that we were in. It's like the crack epidemic.
Hey, I completely agree with that.
Planes.
I completely agree with that. I mean, it's scientifically proven. You can look throughout history and see that. I mean, you know,
We bring this out.
but all at the same time, we're evolving through time, right?
Do you
Things have
believe in the
changed.
Bible?
No.
I had a feeling.
I mean, I agree with what it teaches. It gives a great baseline to what right and wrong and the way you should live, right? But as far as do I believe every bit of it? No.
Okay, can I ask you a question though?
Sure.
So you said that you do believe in things that it teaches and how you should live, right?
Absolutely.
Can you give me an example of one of those things?
Just as far as, you know, the Ten Commandments, right?
Okay.
One of the easiest ones.
Is what?
Thou shalt not kill.
Okay, stop right there.
Any of that.
That's beautiful that you said that. Thou shalt not. But the word there is really murder. Because if you eat meat, you have to kill the animal before you. So that's killing. It's murder.
And that's interpretation as well.
That's a beautiful one. No, murder. The difference between murder and killing. Murder is when you kill something pre-intent. You know what I'm saying?
You can interpret it as man versus man.
Okay, if you want to go there. But
well, I mean, everything's open to interpretation. I'm not trying to go there or say you're wrong, but that's an interpretation.
But it was still spiritual. That's the commandment you decided to bring out. Yeah. Now, judging by the history of your people, do you think that they have followed that law as a whole?
Absolutely not.
Why not? What have they done?
Because everyone is out for themselves.
But I'm saying, as your race, if you're an Edomite, as your race of people as a whole, can you mention a few things that they have done that breaks that commandment that thou shalt not murder?
As an Edomite, what is the classification?
Okay, I would just say the so-called white race, the Caucasian race as a whole. Is there certain things you can tell me that they've done?
Absolutely.
Like
what? 100 years.
Like what have they done?
Just to put specifics on it makes it a whole lot worse.
I'll give you a specific.
Absolutely.
Did they not come here to the shores of the 1600s of America and bring syphilis, gonorrhea,
as far as history tells me, absolutely.
To the Native Americans?
Absolutely. Did they do wrong? Absolutely.
Okay. There was a lot of murder in there. Absolutely. So, are you talking about?
Did I have anything to do with it?
After they did that, right? What took place? The transatlantic slave trade, right? Now, it's said that over 100 million died on just the voyage here alone. After the transatlantic slave trade, right? America's established, it's a country now. You dropping nuclear atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
And these corporations that are running this war are sending all of us in as infantry to die for their profit because they're making money off of the helmets that they make, off of everything.
This is the point I'm trying to
say that again.
And these corporations that run everything are sending us and everyone, all of us, in as slaves to their profit. Right? We're holding guns, wearing their helmets, their backpacks, their everything, right? We're dying for their profit, right? And these elite people that are in very tight-knit groups, whether we're black, we're white, we're Asian, any of us that live here, we are serving them. It's essentially, right?
Right, that's true. I'm gonna say this. This is the thing. When you brought these people into slavery, and I know it's not you that did it.
Absolutely.
When your forefathers brought these people into slavery, and they founded this country on slavery, right? On oppression. That's what this country was founded on. Even before it was founded as the United States of America. Whatever it was becoming, it started slavery and oppression. Anytime you build something, whatever you build it with, that's what it's gonna be. So within America, the foundation of America is slavery. Now guess what?
So how do we change that? Right?
You gotta destroy it. You can't. You gotta destroy the whole society and
we can't
rebuild
change it without eliminating it.
You gotta destroy the society and build another one. But I want to say this, because you said we're all in this, right? Now, when your ancestors did the slavery thing.
Most of my ancestors, because, I mean, we could share lineage.
Okay, I'll say this. When so-called white America, all right, what we calling white America, let's not even do that. When the Europeans came.
I'm white, obviously.
Right, when the Europeans came from Europe, came to America, conquered America from the Native American Indians, brought slaves, right? Because that happened, it's a part of the culture. That part of the culture is echoed all the way to today. To where now, because nobody stood up and said that was wrong back then, they're doing it today and they're doing it to everybody. See, you would have had to stop that back then. The country would have had to been founded on morality. Not putting people on slavery based off of color.
It was a horrible thing back then, but nowadays, I'm not saying it's good nowadays, but I feel like they don't have as much of a repercussion as it did back then. I feel like we're starting to normal out as far as equality between races.
Oh, that's because
I'm not saying that things are fucking good. I mean, I understand there's a lot of people with very fucking horrible views as far as how people should be treated.
Are absolutely different.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you come from another culture. See,
absolutely.
For
for me, it's hard to understand how it is how anybody else is growing up.
Well, for us, it's nothing leveling out for us. Nothing. I mean, as a whole. Yeah, as a whole. I mean, maybe some individuals, famous people. As a whole, it's not leveling out. You don't see it that way.
More defined.
But my point was, because the country was founded that way, it's going to continue to be that way. And if nobody stands up and stopped that back then, it becomes to where if you live in a culture where you have wickedness against one people, guess what? Eventually it's going to become to where that wickedness is going to go over all the people, regardless of color or race. So that's where we at now. But it's a product of the foundation of America. The only way you're going to stop it is if you destroy the whole country and rebuild a new one based off of new morals. That's the only way to stop it.
Well, what is the process of destroying the whole country? What does that entail?
I don't know, man. I can't tell you. Go ahead.
This is Numbers, chapter 35, verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
Meaning that, y'all, you got to be on the bottom, man. And for all of it,
karma.
Well, that's exactly, right? That's a good word.
Hey, I believe in that 100%. I may not believe in the absolutes of what the Bible preaches, because I grew up in private school, right? I went to private school, and I was taught an absolute, right? But nothing's an absolute. Karma is right and wrong, doing good unto your others, and receiving good, as long as you try.
That goes back to what you said earlier, though, because you said that you had nothing to do with that. basically. You said, remember earlier you made a statement kind of implying
Personally,
Right.
maybe my genes,
Right.
maybe the people before me, absolutely the people before me. You know, I can think of my grandfather and my father and all of them about how they treated.
But I brought that out to show you that because you said that you don't believe karma is absolute. I can agree with you there and also disagree, but I'm agree with you there because how it's not absolute is because what your forefathers sowed is what you're gonna reap. You get what I'm saying? And that's where I can agree with you where it says it's not absolute because karma didn't instantly happen to the specific set of people that did it. It's gonna take time.
Well,
and you're gonna reap.
From my beliefs,
the descendants of that
from my beliefs, I believe that if I do something wrong, I'm gonna have to pay the price for it. Whether I pay the price for it right now or I pay the price for it later, I always have that on my conscience, right? And that's everyone. I don't believe that what my father did, I should have to pay for it.
But you do, because we're paying. Okay. Whether you believe this or not, we are the descendants of the Israelites. Our forefathers broke the covenant that they had with their God, which is the law of Moses. We then, because our fathers broke that, we then reaped the mishaps of that. So we're still here today in America under oppression because of our forefathers. So you do reap what your forefathers, whatever, because your nation, I'm saying, well, let's just say America. America was founded by the founding fathers. So whatever legacy the founding fathers had is left on Americans today. You're still recognized by them. Whether that be good things or bad things. So it does play a role on you, whether you like it or not.
I mean, absolutely. I understand my certain privilege.
I'm saying the karma thing. Like you will have to pay for what your father did. Prime example.
It's the butterfly.
Prime example. He spoke about dropping the bombs of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? That was your forefathers, right? Now let's say the Japanese, they get mad, they go to war with you. And maybe the war is about that happened at that time. If they go to war with you, this war is because of what happened before, what your forefathers did. So that is karma coming back on you, the son.
But if I chose to go fight that war with my so-called people, then I'm just as bad as them. Right? But if I'm trying to exist alongside of all of you and just trying to make it in this life, why does that make me just like my father before me? Because I look like him?
It makes you an accessory.
Wait, hold on.
How? Because I did nothing.
Do you know who Daniel is? Daniel in the Bible.
No. Not off the top of my head. It sounds familiar.
Well, Daniel was a prophet. He was a righteous prophet in the Bible. Here's a prime example. Do you know who Jesus is?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I went to private school until 9th grade. It was a Christian college.
Nah, it was a dumb question, my fault.
Yeah.
So, at the time of Jesus' birth, okay, if you want to believe him or not, let's just say he was real, okay? At the time of his birth, he was under the Roman occupation, correct?
Yeah.
He was under oppression of the Romans. They were actually in slavery, so to speak. Not in bondage like that, but they were occupied by the Romans, right? The whole nation was. Now, was Jesus righteous according to the Bible? Yes, he was, so he still had to go through that. Another example, Daniel, maybe a better example. Daniel went into slavery under, was it the Syrians? Babylonians? Daniel went into slavery under the Babylonians, even though he was a righteous man. So it doesn't really matter. The Most High judges nations as a whole. Right? Well, you know, I know you may not believe in the Bible, but the Most High God.
Everything in the Bible seems true. It can't be it can't be not proven, right? What I don't believe is in the absolutes, right? I'm not gonna stand next to a person that goes and kills someone in cold blood and pay the same price as that person for wanting to sleep with a woman before marriage.
I mean, that's not illegal.
It's not all the same.
Illegal.
It's not all the same.
Right.
I was taught Christianity in absolutes, right? that no matter what I did, unless I completely believed that Jesus was my Savior, that unless I believed unto Him and accepted Him into my heart, I was going to burn in hell for forever.
Well, it ain't no such thing as hell.
No matter what I did, unless I believe that, right? And this is 100% absolution, that I'm going to burn in hell for forever, right?
I read that.
Well, this is the thing. Christianity.
And I reject that.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing. Christianity is a bunch of fairy tales. I'm not saying the Bible is. Christianity is. Why? Christianity does not line up with the Bible. In the Bible, there's no place where you burn up forever. When people die, they all go to the same place. Right. If you're wicked and I'm righteous, when we die, we're going to the same place. We're going back to the person, the thing or person or entity that created us. That's what the scriptures teach.
The only thing is, how do we know that anything that's been written by another man is true? How do we trust in that?
Prophecy.
I understand that. I understand this.
Do you believe any books that you read?
Yes, absolutely. It depends on if it makes sense.
You believe
Aristotle?
You believe Aristotle was here and alive?
I believe he existed.
Why? Wait, that's a good one. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Why?
Good point.
There's not really any proof. It's more proof for Jesus Christ than it is for Aristotle. But any of those philosophers.
Look at this, man. Logic says that if I run out and jump in front of that car, I'm going to get hit by it, right? I'm going to land on the... Well, if I jump in front of it as it's moving, I'm going to hit the windshield, and likely I'm going to get hurt, right? That's what logic tells me. Right?
But that's from your experience, though. Because let's say if you was
You can deduce anything, though, right? But the only question that I really have is, why is God going to give me a mind to identify what's possible and what isn't, whenever He hasn't shown me anything that this book has said?
Well,
I mean, I understand these are very good morals and things.
Do you think that all of this just made it so?
I'm not saying that God doesn't exist, but in this fashion. Why should I believe that a God? I was raised in a Christian household as well, so I mean, this is my perspective. But why should I believe that a heaven or a hell even exists?
You shouldn't. Because the Bible don't say that.
Can I say something real quick, Noah? Your first question was, why would you believe in things that God hasn't shown you, right? Right. Because this Bible was written to the Israelites, and He showed us things, which is why we have faith in Him. And I'm going to give you an example. All right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. For the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondsmen and bondswomen. What I just read is Deuteronomy chapter 28. In that chapter, the Lord gave Moses to tell the children of Israel two choices. If you follow my laws, I will bless you. If you don't keep my laws, I will curse you. So right there, He's only talking to the children of Israel, not the other 17 nations on the planet. But just listen to my point I'm trying to make. So therefore, there will be a disconnect with people that are not on this side, because it wasn't shown to them. It was shown to the people on this side. Now, what I just read to you was the transatlantic slave trade prophesied in the Bible thousands of years ago. Again, because the Israelites, according to the Bible, only went into the physical Egypt once. After the Exodus with Moses, that was the last time they seen that Egypt in slavery under Pharaoh, right?
Why would He show that message to Israel but not the other people?
Because Israel is His witness. Right. The special thing about these people is that they're His witnesses to the world that He exists. It's not going to be known to you right now whether
why would He bestow that upon some people but not the rest of the people?
Because
why should we believe other people versus
because the same reason why the teacher is bestowed certain information that he teaches the students.
Right.
Israel are the priests of the Most High. They're His witnesses. So in this new kingdom, whether you believe it or not, but there's going to be a new kingdom set up, and they're going to set this kingdom up.
But why wait 2,000 years?
Honestly, though,
because it's a testimony.
Take a DNA test.
He's testifying that He exists
likely
to the world.
Have some portion of this in my blood, how can you deduce that I'm not an Israelite?
We never.
Well, you were talking to him like he's not that person, right? Like he's beneath you.
Well, we're not talking to him like that. We're not talking to him
specifically, but you're kind of talking to us like we're beneath you.
If you're getting that impression from me, if you're not on this side, or you do, I don't. Romans 8. Go ahead.
It says Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Thee was a word. God has chosen thee.
The thee is referring to the nation, the children of Israel. Okay. It says that we're chosen and we're a special people above all people on the face of the earth.
So if I'm 1/10 Puerto Rican, right, am I part of thee?
But that's the thing. That's
for 1/32nd.
That's modern day.
Because
first and foremost, there's no such thing as mixed. You can't be 1/10 anything. Your nationality or your lineage is based on the seed of your father.
From where? From my father.
Right, because the man carries the seed. The woman is just the incubator. If I took an apple and I planted the apple seed in Jamaica, which has volcanic soil, which is really good soil, really rich soil, I should say, and then I plant another seed from that same apple in another soil somewhere else, one apple might be sweeter, a little bit more red, but those apples still come from the same seed. You get what I'm trying to say? There's no such thing as being mixed and all that.
But it's biased.
It is biased. And that's because Christianity teaches that God loves everybody. And that's just not true.
Because it's pulling the same logic.
The Lord is a separate.
Why would God be a
Wait. Why do you say it's biased? Why do you say it's biased?
Because thee, right? You were interpreting thee from, okay, thee means this.
Thee wasn't the only word in the scripture.
No, thee means you.
He means you.
We were talking Old English.
So say I was reading that, right? I'm not trying to start an argument. And really I'm not. The reason I stopped to even talk to you is to try to understand where y'all were coming from. Because
I'm trying to understand where you're coming from now.
well, I'm not saying, where I'm coming from is that if I do right and I want to do right, I deserve the same things that you deserve, right?
Why do you,
trying to do right.
But why do you say that?
Because right is right, right? And wrong is wrong. That's one absolute there is.
What's your intent for being right?
It's not even about the intent.
To be right, to be a good person.
It's not even about the intent. But what you got to understand is this. This is what you got to understand. The Most High God, He chose His people. His people is Israel. He chose them for a purpose, okay? That purpose is to set up His kingdom and His laws on the earth. Now, when he sets His people up, they go out and they teach the rest of the world, then you can come in, you could be a part of, not the nation, but of the whole thing.
Your interpretation of the words written in this book.
No, that's what the word says. It says it clearly.
Through your interpretation, you can interpretate, I want to go over there, to however you want to interpret it. Right?
It says that
as long as I tried to do, and now I'm getting into an argument which I really didn't want to
It's not an argument. It's not an argument.
Right?
We're just talking.
Well, it feels like to me that I'm trying to make an argument.
Well, this is the thing. What's clearly said is not interpreted. It clearly says that He chose the children of Israel. That's clear. No, you know what a covenant is? You know what a covenant is, correct? It's a contract, right? So if He chose the children of Israel in Exodus, and He made a contract with them that He will be their God, and they will be His people, which we can pull that out, then He chose them, and that's what it is.
So what you're saying
So if you're doing right, that's good. But He has a contract with Israel, just the same as if you have a wife, you got a contract with your wife, which is a marriage license, which is a marriage contract.
Which is bullshit created by society.
I get it. But if you have a contract with your wife, I have nothing to do with that contract. That's between you and your wife. If I do good, if I do whatever, that's on me. Now Israel is the Most High's wife in the scriptures. They have a contract with him. So their dealings is between the Most High and Israel. It's not between the Most High, Israel, and all the nations, right? The Most High and Israel have a contract together, just like you and your wife will have a contract together. And me being another man, I couldn't get involved with it. Otherwise, I would be wrong. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. My only confusion is if you're born in the wrong place in the wrong time, are you not deserving the same quality of life as every other human being on this planet?
It never said you can't have a good quality of life.
What is
you're not deserving.
Let me ask this. Let me ask you this. What you just said, right? Okay. When we was in slavery, right?
Right.
Y'all believe that, right? Slavery, right?
No, come on, man.
Okay, I'm just asking. Listen, don't get emotional.
Now you're trying to play. Now you're trying to make fun of me.
No,
just like the guy that walked by and called us.
It's not making fun.
Yeah, listen.
It's not making fun. He's just trying to establish a foundation.
Thank you. Y'all believe in slavery, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
Now,
I believe it exists.
okay. No. Now, it was a story, it's a fact, or maybe a historical fact, that the babies of the slaves were fed to alligators, right? They were set on the banks, and they were bait for alligators, and they caught alligators, and they killed alligators for the skin or whatever, shoot, right? So, when that baby was born, and the baby was set on the bank, could that baby say, hey, Mr. Slave Master, why am I sitting on this bank about to get ate by alligator?
No, he just got ate by alligator.
Exactly, right? Because of what?
Because that's the end itself.
Thank you. Nice. Now, what you said that if you're born in some place, right, that you just have, what you said, you can't have a quality of life. So why can't that baby have the same quality?
Because that's a hand to himself. That's a very good reason why I am agnostic. Is because I don't believe the Almighty God is going to give some child that has no choice in anything lung cancer, and he's going to die at 3 years old before he could even think about life. Right?
Do you think God only does good?
No, absolutely not. If there was a right and there was a wrong, right? Because God is right, and Satan is wrong, right?
Wait.
God would have nothing to do.
Do you understand duality?
That's what Christianity is.
No. Well, we're not Christians. We're not Christians.
Well,
let me ask you this.
That's how I was brought up.
Okay. Do you understand duality? You know what duality is?
Yeah, absolutely. People make horrible decisions based on the situation they're put in.
But duality.
I feel like Hitler honestly believed that he was right. I honestly believe that he was right in the actions that he perceived in the situation that he was given. I feel like it was horrible, coming from my perspective, that he was a fucking horrible person. He made the worst decisions possible. However, I feel like brought up in your circumstances,
Product of your environment.
Yeah, your environment, you make the decisions best based on what you're given.
When I asked you about duality, this is what I meant. You have to have good and bad, hot and cold.
We make horrible decisions every day.
Well, hold on. I'm not talking about decisions. And they're both perfect in their own right. When they come together, they make things perfect. The Most High God does good and evil. He created evil. It's not a God and a Satan. And Satan is bad and God is good. The Most High God is good and bad. Right? Yep. He created who you call Satan. All right? Well, read that.
This is Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things.
The Most High God, who we call the Creator, does everything, good and bad. So to say that, you don't see why, you don't think, I can't recall what you said, I don't really remember like that, but God gives kids cancer. It's just their lot in this life. We don't know why, it's their lot in this life. God also gives them whatever is good for them, like makes them happy.
It's all perfect.